Following a worldwide manhunt that lasted over 4 years, 2 men were captured in the winter of 2017 and brought to trial. They face charges including attempts to violate pop culture and sabotage the planet's entertainment industry. After being held for less than 48 hours, these 2 men escaped from a maximum security facility. The fugitives are now believed to be holding up in an unknown secret location where they continue to broadcast their messages to their ever-growing army of renegade followers. Known only by the code names of Theo Cane and Respek BA, these men are armed, these men are dangerous, and these men are criminals.
1-2, testing. This is Theo Cane
and Respek BA,
and you are now locked into the sound of the Slimehouse Squadcast.
And this is the Lowdown Shelter.
And we're back again, and you are now locked in to the Slimehouse Squadcast with myself and my brother Respek BA.
Crack-a-lacking individuals.
And if I'm right, we've been doing this shit for 9 weeks now.
I believe it is episode 9, isn't it? That's not too bad, mate.
Not at all, not at all. Fuck my life, there's so much to get through because it's weird. Last week was like a slow news week, weren't it? And then we said we'd be reporting this one later than normal because we were going to be at Don't Flop in London. So in that time, so much shit seems to have happened, and there's things that I wanted to talk about that now aren't even that relevant anymore. But I'll do my best to try and squeeze in everything that we were talking about. But there's a lot to get through.
Yeah, like we were saying, though, like we did discuss briefly the possibility of us keeping up with a podcast schedule 100% and bringing the equipment to London, but then we were like, we ain't even kicked it in fucking time, so sorry people, but me and Theo just had to fucking actually kick it for once.
We just wanted to have some fucking time out of the Lowdown Shelter and just fucking kick it as people, and not. I think it'd be. I'm not really sad, but if we were going all the way to London, we might as well just fucking enjoy the time rather than be like, oh shit, we've got to fucking do a squadcast. And how hectic London is and how fucking fast-paced everything we're moving that weekend, we wouldn't have had a minute to do it anyway, so I don't mind.
That's it. On the one side, it's obviously the opportunity where, had we have brought the shit, we could have got some interesting fucking people on it just because of who was about, but then on the other side, everyone was partying and fucked, so you wouldn't have seen the best of anybody on that podcast anyway, you know what I mean? So
no, you're very fucking right, but I had a sick time in London, bro. What about you?
Yeah, same, mate. It was good, man. The only thing, obviously, was because I fucking travelled down same day of the battle, then travelled back first thing the next day. It was all travel, then battle, then a little bit of time to meet people and say what's up during the event, and then a little bit of time to kick it with people and shit afterwards. But yeah, it would have been cool to have more time, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
like, because the next day you got all sorts of mad shit done, innit? If I'd have stayed down, I could have done all sorts of cool shit with you lot.
What it were is, I mean, to anyone that don't know, it was Don't Flop checkpoint this weekend, and it was Er's birthday. The dude that runs Don't Flop with Kruger, it was his birthday, so it was a big deal this weekend, and there were some big American names coming across. We had man like Calico, Charlie Clips, DNA, Arsenal, and obviously Sirius Jones that you battled, all coming over for one of the biggest Don't Flop events of the year. So I travelled down on the Saturday morning, BA travelled down on Sunday afternoon kind of time.
Sunday morning, but I got into London. By the time I got into London, like, it was like 6 hours travel, mate. Yeah. So yeah, I was there about 3 o'clock.
Me and Lowry went down on Saturday and hanging about like Camden and stuff, just seeing bits and bats. It was funny, man. I was talking to Faith SFX 2 days before. Anyone that don't know about Faith SFX, he's like a fucking UK beatbox legend. He's pretty much the most well-known beatboxer in the country. Guy tours with Plan B. He does all the. If you know anything about grime, you'll have seen all the old videos with Skepta and shit.
Incredible beatboxer.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, and he's a safe as fuck guy. I actually first met Faith SFX in Ministry of Sound in London. It were a Don't Flop event, and he came up to me and he was like, "Yes, Toy Man, what you saying?" He didn't even recognise me as a battler. He just, I don't know if he was very up on battle rap. He knew every single slogan of all the battlers and stuff, so he probably did know me from battle rap, but he knew me more for posting toys on Instagram, and we've just stayed in touch ever since then. And so I was talking to him. I'd not spoke to him for like a year and a half, and then randomly he messaged me a couple of days before I went to London and just said, yo, I've seen the trailer, it looks sick, for the movie Unit 11, just asking me when it's out and shit. And I said, oh, I'm going to be in London this weekend. I'm walking through Camden and I just walked straight into him. I goes, no fucking way, I just ran into you, like. So that was one of the first things I saw when I got down there, just walking into Faith SFX. I thought, that's fucking crazy. Literally, he'd messaged me 2 days before and I'd not spoke to him for like a year and a half. But while I was in Camden, got a message from Tony Madness. Hold tight, Tony Madness, the Florida connection out there.
Big up Madness.
Every fucking time. And he just said, like, oh, I don't know if you know about it, but it's ToyCon 2017. And I'm like, no, I didn't fucking know it was this weekend. Basically, it was in London at the time of me being there with a whole day to kill time.
Right, that's
basically.
just fucking perfect for you.
Yeah, it was perfect, bro. Do you know what was mad? I've been to so many toy fairs in my life. I've worked at toy fairs. I've had my own stall there. I've gone as a buyer. And, like, without being horrible to people, because each to their own, everyone's different. I try not to judge. I do judge, but I try not to. Most of the people at the toy fair are the kind of people you would expect to see at a toy fair. Not people like me. People that give people like me a bad name, should I say? Like geeks,
okay,
you know what I mean? Like fucking Poindexter nerd. Never fucking had a girlfriend. Never laid with a woman in their life. Live in the mum's basement with a load of toys.
The more socially awkward brothers,
Yeah.
whereas you're a guy that's not that socially awkward but fucking loves your toys nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, when you say someone that's like a toy geek, what you would expect them to look like? People like that, and also a lot of people with like a fucking bad attitude. You know what I mean? Like very, oh well, this is worth such and such a price, and this is what it's worth on eBay and blah blah blah. Those kind of people, which really fuck me off about the toy collecting scene. However, ToyCon,
I wouldn't like associating with people like that.
ToyCon weren't really like that at all. Like everyone there was like a certified dude. There was loads of like European toy collectors all dressed in the sick hip hop gear and that kind of thing. There were just a lot of fucking dudes there. Like all the stalls where the guys were selling like the vinyl kaiju and stuff. They all had like good looking girlfriends and shit. And what was mad is when you go to like a toy fair normally, it's just antique toys. There was no antique toys at this place, and there was also no new toys that you'd find in a shop or nothing like that. They were all people selling like their own like custom kaiju or selling them on behalf of other people. So when I was walking around, I was like, raw, some of this stuff's very fucking pricey. I'm looking at toys that are like 350 quid for like a cheap looking like Japanese kaiju kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was saying that, so when I was looking through the stuff at first, I was thinking this stuff's quite expensive, but then I thought, well, you have to kind of look at it like an artist selling his artwork or selling his prints. And if you saw an artist print for 300 quid, you'd think nothing of it. Oh yeah, that's how much prints are. So I just had to kind of see the toys like that, but there was some wicked stuff, man. I came away with a nice buy, so I'm right happy that Madness told me about ToyCon 2017. If you just look on hashtag ToyCon on Instagram, you'll see all the kind of stuff that they put on there. But I'm a big fan of the Japanese kaiju kind of stuff, so I was just in my element. I could have spent grands there, bro. There was such sick stuff. And I went late in the day. I saw some of the pictures of what were there before I got there, what had sold out. So big ups Madness for showing me that.
Nice. What was the purchase you went with? What was it?
I bought something from this guy called the Vomit Baby, and he's called, like, I can't even pronounce his name, like Ultra Tembro or something. He's either Swedish or somewhere in Eastern Europe or somewhere in Europe or somewhere mad, and on the base of its foot it just says "Made in Hell," and apparently the guy's like he's major elusive. So the girl that sold it to me, she said, I'm selling it on behalf of this buyer and no one knows who he is. He's like a ninja who makes these crazy fucking Vomit Baby toys.
He's like the Banksy of the toy world, yeah.
Well, yeah, but more cooler, because like, way cooler than he would ever be. Like, this guy was making some
You're
crazy
not a Banksy
shit.
fan?
Not particularly, but that's a whole other podcast.
That's an interesting one, though.
Yeah, definitely. We'll save that for a future podcast. But no, ToyCon 17 was sick. And then I went to hook up with Mike Assassin and INC, two jump-off legends. We hooked up with them after, and just spent the rest of the evening with them, and then just watched the fight on Saturday. Did you watch the boxing? I know people want to know. People want to know what you think about the fight on Saturday night.
Okay, well,
AJ, did you watch?
It was an interesting one, because as you know, I fell out of love with boxing because it's changed to be more. You know, there's less finishes. People come to fight less, and people come to compete in the sport more.
Yeah.
And I always like people that preserve the ideal of it still being a real fight, and the rules are only there to minimalise danger rather than using the rules to, win at the sport, as I've said before. And I was expecting this fight to go one of two ways. I thought it was either going to be a very short, very exciting fight with a quick knockout for either Joshua or Klitschko, or it was going to be a long, boring fight with only Klitschko controlling it, because a lot of people were writing Klitschko off due to his age, but he's a master tactician, and I was very well aware Joshua could be in some deep shit in this fight.
He's an old boy. Old boys will just knock your fucking head off. They've seen it all before.
Yeah, on top of that, Klitschko's one of the best guys ever for knowing how to use his length. He, pins you up as well. He stalks you down, which for someone with a reach is a great thing to do, because then it gives you the entire ring behind you to move back into if you need to. So he boxes someone in, just picks them apart with shots, and if they feel the need to come and get angry and try flurry him, he's got an entire ring behind him just to glide back into. It's nothing, reset, do the same thing. So I know how good Klitschko is, big him up every time. So the fight starts, it's a good fight. And okay, so I will say before it, so I was expecting it to go one of those two ways, and it was actually neither. It was actually a long and somewhat, for the most part, exciting fight, which I wasn't expecting it to be. I was expecting, if it was long, to be boring. Well, it wasn't that. So early on, obviously, Joshua's winning the rounds and then culminates it with a knockdown. I forget what round the knockdown was in. I have no idea what round the knockdown was in, but I know Joshua was doing his thing early. 5, yeah, but I do know...
I think 5, it might have been later on, but I swear it was 5. He got put on his arse. Not bad, but he went down,
Who, Joshua went down?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Joshua, not Klitschko down.
Oh, that was round 11. Oh, do you mean before? No, I thought you were about the knockout. Oh, yeah.
Knocked down early in the fight. And then, I don't know whether it was from Joshua trying to finish Klitschko after he knocked him down, because it was a weird knockdown. All Joshua's knockdowns in that fight were not like a clean shot that sparked Klitschko. It was just a cumulative... heavy hands to the fucking head, just rattling his ass till he couldn't stand up anymore. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like no perfect sniper shot to the chin putting Klitschko down. So the first knockdown was like accumulative blows, and Klitschko slumped into Joshua's chest, then Joshua moved back and Klitschko timbered. I don't know whether it was the fact Joshua was trying to follow up and finish him, or that Klitschko caught him with a beautiful counter lead left hook, but Joshua started to gas dangerously after that, and it looked like Klitschko had turned the tide of the fight. And I'll be honest, I didn't see Joshua coming back into it at that point. I thought, oh fuck, Joshua's gassed himself. Klitschko, the wily veteran, even though he was getting pieced early, has preserved his stamina, and now this is going to be an ugly fucking fight for UK boxing fans, yeah? That's what I honestly thought was going down. And Klitschko, for the first few rounds, made it look like that's what's happening. And... with no bias, Vladimir Klitschko landed the single most beautiful shot in that fight with the right cross he put Joshua down with. Now that was a fucking sniper shot straight to the chin. Boom. Fucking just flash knockout. Beautiful. Beautiful shot. If you have to watch one punch from that fight, watch Vladimir Klitschko's fucking knockdown. And I forget what round that was, but it was fucking beautiful. It was the only shot in the whole fight where I just went, holy shit! Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful cross. So then, it looks like Klitschko's about to do his shit. But Joshua, my man, shows, first of all, he's got a fucking chin. He absorbs some damage. He absorbs some perilous rounds where Klitschko has now spun it back and is probably winning on the scorecards. And he braces himself, he gets a second wind, and he manages to finish the fight in the 11th round. For everything boxing has offered us in the last 10-15 years, I'd like to thank them for that fight, because it's good to see that the heavyweight division can still put on a fight that's memorable, classic, lives up to the hype for once, and it told a great story. Not many fights tell great stories anymore. They all tell stories, but it's hard to find ones that tell great ones. And that one tells a great little story throughout it of people coming back from adversity, people showing they're not past it yet, people showing that they are what people are saying they are, people proving they've got fucking cardio stat. It's all the things that make martial arts my favourite thing to watch people competing in life. So I don't watch much boxing anymore nowadays, but I'd like to salute that fight and big up both individuals involved. It was a great fight to unify the heavyweight titles. I was happy I watched it.
I'll tell you my favourite bit.
Go then.
When you saw Schwarzenegger in the crowd, and the camera went on him, and all crowd goes.
The
That was my
governor, mate.
favourite
You know,
bit, knowing Schwarzenegger was there, and also knowing that myself and Schwarzenegger was in the same city at the same time. Fucking buzzing, mate.
get me.
good.
You know he's a big McGregor fan as well, man.
Is he? I know.
Yeah.
I know he follows all the combat sports and stuff. And
He's actually written like a thing about Conor McGregor, you know.
I ain't seen that.
Yeah, I ain't read it yet either, but apparently like it was in because there was like a Forbes list for the world's most influential people.
Yeah.
And obviously Conor McGregor smashed that this year.
Yeah.
So I think Arnold Schwarzenegger did some write up about him somewhere or something, just saying
Nice
how
one.
he thinks he's.
Nice one, Schwartz.
Yeah.
I just thought, imagine just running into him somewhere in London. Obviously, the fucking chances to that are 1 in a billion, but it'd have been so fucking sick.
Man, did you see that promotion he had when you could fucking go join him in his tank?
Yeah. Oh, mate, I see all them. People tag me in them as soon as they come
Do you know
up.
the history of that promotion, mate? It's quite gangster.
What, when it was...
Because, okay, so he was a tank driver in the Austrian army.
He used to keep his weights in it so he could do fucking reps between.
When he was like, what, 16, 17,
Yeah.
just driving in this old steel, sweaty, hot tank in Austria. And when he became big, he was so powerful that he actually got a pardon from the Austrian government to be able to locate and import the tank that he used to drive in the Austrian army.
Sick guy.
Like, obviously that's not some shit we could ever do, but because he's like been a politician and shit, he was able to get an official pardon from the fucking country and that, and get his actual tank he drove in the army. So he's got his old tank, and he must still love a bit of tank action or something, because for charity, he had this promotion a couple years ago where it was like, come join me in my tank. For $2,000 you can drive with me in my tank while I run over cars. And it was literally, this sounds like a spoof, but it was Schwarzenegger offering people with money the opportunity to take a passenger seat with him in his tank as he drove over shit. Sounds like a fun day out. I know if me and you had the money, we'd have fucking been there, mate.
And it would go to charity.
Yeah.
Sick. Of
Yeah,
course
man.
I would have been there. That's not the one I saw. Then I saw something different, because if you could have just paid $2,000, I'd have just paid $2,000 and gone.
No, I don't think it was $2,000. Like I just
Yeah.
pulled that figure out. But
Yeah, because that's minor. That's minor to go and drive a tank with Swartz, especially if it's going to charity. If it were going in his pocket, then I'd be like, nah, fuck that. He don't need $2,000 off me. He's famous. But if it's gonna a good cause, that's even better. Did you see the other picture? The one with the unlikely duo sat together, Barry Chuckle and Jay-Z.
I did see that
That's
picture.
fucking funny. When would them two ever be in the same vicinity under any other circumstances?
Mate, fucking Chuckle Brothers remake confirmed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking sick, mate. Another funny thing that came from the night. So then, and I just wanted to say a shout out to Mike Assassin, because bear in mind, myself and Mike Assassin, we've never met. We've been speaking as long as me and you've been friends. How many years is that? Do you know what I mean?
That's a long time.
Like 9-10 years we've been chatting or something like this. But we've never actually met. We've chat a lot, but we've never met up in person. So we were like, yo, we're definitely going to meet up in London. So I met up with Mike Assassin. If you don't know about Mike Assassin, he's a jump-off battle rap legend. He's one of the founding fathers of UK
Assassin.
battle rap.
He was battling people literally as long ago as I was battling people. You know what I mean? So
do you know what he said to me as well? Oh, well, I'll tell you in a sec what he said. But so we met up with him in London. It was sick. Do you know what I mean? We had a very good laugh. And then we met up with INC, who's another like jump-off legend, another dude. I've met INC hundreds of times. We're boys from way back. But so we all met up. We were just having a drink and chilling. And I was gonna go and watch the fight with Ink. But then, so Ink went to meet his friends, and then his phone died, so I couldn't get in touch with him. So Mike Assassin, even though he had tickets booked for the AJ fight back home in the bits in Southeast, he didn't go. He says, I'm staying with your guys till you get in touch with Ink. And I'm like, no, you don't need to. He's like, no, bro. He's like, I ain't leaving you in my city, like abandoning you when I've turned up. He's like, He's like, I will watch the fight with your guys. So he stayed with us till like midnight.
What a G.
And got one of the last trains home, just so that he could just so that he were making sure that we were cool in London and that we weren't. Even though I said there's no need to do it, like we're fine. He goes, nah. He goes, I won't be comfortable knowing I've just left your two in London and I've just gone back to watch the fight with my friends. He goes, even though they're my boys and I'll have a laugh. And he goes, and then he wanted us to come, but we needed tickets for the thing, so we won't be able to get in. So I just wanted to shout out Mike Assassin, bro, because that's that fucking battle rap brotherhood. You know what I mean? He looked after us out there. And what he also told me, because obviously we'll get to Don't Flop in a minute, but he said to me that what he missed in battle rap is that camaraderie thing, like the social element of it. When I go to Don't Flop now, it's not to watch battles, it's just to see everyone and chill and just get all the old crew back together and just have a laugh for the day. He said we never had that. He said when we were battling, you'd jump in a van, we'd jump off on your, like, just you on your own. You'd go, they'd take you somewhere, you'd jump out, you'd battle, and then you'd get back in the van and go home. Because you never really got to meet anyone. There were no community of it. He said that's like one of the good things that's come from battle rap now, is the fact that it's a social element. He goes, we never went to an event all day where you'd be just kicking it and chilling with all other battlers and meeting people. He goes, so because you didn't meet people that well, it was very competitive. You never got to know anyone personally that much. You all knew each other, but mate, only knew each other to battle.
To be honest, man, I'm still of that mindset though. I mean, obviously I'm fucking cool. It's cool to meet people and that, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking like, these are people that I might get put up against. Like, I don't know. All I know is, it's bad for me to be friends with anyone I ever battle.
Then you'll just be like me.
I always do better if they're not my friend.
You're friends with so many battlers that like there's only like 3 battlers in the country that you can actually battle. It narrows it down easier. Because I'd be like, I'll never battle Dialect because he's my brother. I'll never battle Tony D because he's fam. No. Like there's so many people. It'd be a big list of it. Know what I mean? I'd never battle you. So that's when you can start be like, they start throwing Americans at you and stuff in it because you're not friends with them. Most of them anyway. You know?
Built myself into a position where I can get nothing but internationals get me.
Yeah, because you refuse to battle friends. But yeah, no, it was a sick event at Don't Flop. I did some stuff in the morning. I went on Brick Lane. I found a stall selling luchador masks, so that's why I had the El Santo mask when we were at Don't Flop. Yeah, and they had so many sick ones, bro. I could have spent like 200 quid on luchador masks. They had La Parka, they had Psychosis, they had Blue Demon, they had Mil Mascares, Sin Cara, so many sick ones, but I settled for a Sin Cara mask because for a El Santo mask because he's the OG, and I've always wanted an El Santo.
Okay, so that is a name I've never heard of before. So fill me in. Why is this guy the motherfucking OG of the Lucha Libres?
El Santo is just like he's the OG Lucha Libre, and not only is he like one of the most one of the most decorated luchas of all time. Obviously passed the mantle on to his son like they all do. He also starred in like so many movies and TV shows and things like that. Like outside of wrestling, there's a whole genre of lucha libre horror movies and action movies where it would be crazy. El Santo and Blue Demon versus the Vampire Women and stuff like that. This basically a really good way to find out about all this stuff is Jonathan Ross used to host a TV show years ago called The Incredibly Strange Film Show, and then season 2 was called Son of the Incredibly Strange Film Show. And he does like a special on John Waters, he does a special on George Romero, a special on Sam Raimi, one on Jackie Chan. So many cool specials he did, and they go so in depth. They were made in like the early 90s, but he does one all about El Santo. So if you type in on YouTube Jonathan Ross, The Incredibly Strange Film Show, El Santo, ELSANTO, it shows you all the stuff that he worked on. So El Santo's the guy. Like, I'd like to get an El Santo tattoo one day, but I've always wanted that mask. It's just a whole plain. It's very simple. It's this whole silver mask, and I've looked lots of times on eBay and that. I thought I'm going to get one of them one day. And then when I saw a stall selling those masks, I thought, I need to buy it. So that's why I picked that mask
couldn't
up.
say no, innit?
No, I mean, Brick Lane's just wicked for shopping and stuff. Very busy. It was on Sunday morning, obviously. That's when the Don't Flop battle were. I looked all through the market and things like that. And I also found a little cinema there. And I was talking to the girl inside the cinema, and she says you can actually rent it. So there's a good chance that I'll be showing Unit 11 in that cinema, because it seats like 40 to 60 people, and it's on Brick Lane. So when the movie's out, I'm wanting to do a London screening for the London guys, so we could do a Don't Flop event and then show Unit 11 straight after. I'd be fucking sick. So watch this space, people, for that one. Man. But yeah, man, without further ado, let's get to some Don't Flop talk, because I know people want to hear us talk about that. And it's been a while since I went to a Don't Flop. I know that you went to Edinburgh, but that wasn't probably one that had as many known like battle faces as the London one.
Obviously my boy G-Dash, G-Dash is one of my proper inside crowds.
Legend out here.
Same as yourself, mate. G-Dash is fucking one of the ninja gang. Straight up. So whenever I get an opportunity to see my boy G-Dash, it's always a good thing. And then also my boy Possessed came out. Any chance I get to see my boy Possessed, it's a good thing.
Yeah, we're good to see Possessed.
So yeah, there was a lot of people. Like at Edinburgh, G-Dash came up, but I never saw Possessed there and shit. So yeah, there was just more people. But obviously, because the Scottish hip-hop scene is my culture that I come from, it was the same when I went to Edinburgh for Scottish MCs. But you guys obviously won't know them and stuff. But like for me, it was like a room full of fucking people I hadn't seen in ages up there as well. But yeah, same thing in London, but just obviously it was just a room full of fucking sick battle rappers. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm fully confident that room could walk into any debating hall in the world and make the environmentalist, politician, religious leader, or what have you look like an absolute fucking dunce cap with an hour of prep.
Yeah.
Get us on stage debating. Anyone in that room, get us on stage debating who wants what, and we'll fucking win that debate. End of the day.
I liked old shouts to Frankie Fraser. He came up to me and he said, I saw you, BA, G-Dash and Possessed walk in together. He goes, I was 17 again. It was so fucking sick to see all your faces there. That's what I like about them events, when all the old faces come out. And big up that
that's
guy,
it, man. I got so much respect off people. One of the criticisms I got from the Tony battle from forgetful people or new fans was like, "Oh, let's see how BA does in London." You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And but that's something I did, in the jump off years ago.
Yeah,
so I knew I was going to get well received. So it was an interesting comment, you know what I mean?
And do you know what, look, London are probably more used to hearing and seeing people of a different culture and a different accent and stuff anyway, because it's a tourist city and it's constantly full of people with different accents and stuff. So a London crowd's probably one of the crowds that's going to be least biased against anyone that's not London, because they're constantly surrounded by people that aren't from London. Majority of the people in London centre and stuff when I go are not English.
And the other thing I noticed is all these MCs that are new to the game or just came up over the last few years, they all came up and showed me the maximum respect.
Yeah,
mate.
Same, brother. I saw him showing you dabs.
From Dialect to Scoop to Bobby Rex, all them guys came up and showed respect, man. So much respect to those guys for understanding, the history to this shit.
Bobby Rex was he was one that came up and he's like, bro, I only do this because people like you and BA did it before me. He says, I'm just trying to get to where you are. And I just said, bro, there's nothing to look forward to when you get there. There's nothing to look forward to, and they were laughing.
That's it.
But yeah, it was good. It was good to meet some of them newbies, because I don't know much about the current state of battle rap or who battles or who's big and this kind of thing. So when they come up and to know that they're cool, that's wicked. You know what I mean? I
seen Scoop though. Big up Scoop, because Scoop, I can't even be mad at him, but he did tell me he wanted to battle me, but he didn't come at me sideways about it. He was like, I've got nothing but respect for you, so I'd love to battle you because I think you're sick. So how can you be mad when someone comes at you like that? But I will say, Scoop, I do not care how big you are. I watched you battle DNA and I saw you pocket check him. I'ma put fucking pins, knives, AIDS infected needles in my shit. Don't do that to me if we battle. That's all I'm saying. Do you know what I like I'm not DNA, brother. I know this whole UK hip hop thing's different. I've got nothing but respect for you, but I beg, do not pocket check me.
Does that mean that you're saying yes to the battle?
Well, that's it. No disrespect to Scoop, but every single battle I do has to be the best possible opportunity I can get for me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna weigh up my options and see where to take it. But I've got nothing but respect for Scoop. I think he did sick against DNA, and it would be a battle I would be more than happy to do if it was the best option available for me at the time. So we'll just have to see what's happening.
I love that bar when Scoop said, about the pocket check. He's like, I pocket check you. I said something, and he pocket checks DNA's pockets. And then DNA just flipped it back round, and I can't remember how he rhymed it.
Yeah, he said like he said something like he had a good setup as well.
Yeah.
Something about bars. These bars ain't no monkey business.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a nice move. And then he pocket checks him back and goes, you ain't even got no money in it, or something like that.
Pocket check you too, but they ain't got no money in it. Sick flip. I think
the obvious flip for the pocket check is like, here's something I've noticed about all pocket checks, and why has no one just mentioned it? Like, no one ever actually pocket checks and then goes, there's something in the pocket, let me take that out of your pocket.
In other words,
you could have £1 million. You could have £1 million in your pocket, and the guy's just patted your million and then respectfully fucking bowed out like a bitch about it, instead of being like, yo, I felt a phone, an iPad, there's some shit in them pockets, empty them.
Well, if
I understand it's just battle rap
that
bravado.
Weekend, they just found an El Santo mask. So yeah, that was sick
literally,
battle.
Theo was repping with an El Santo mask hanging out of his jean pocket the whole event, like just ready to mask up, and Hurricane ran, motherfucker, like get me.
Standard procedure, brother.
Mate.
Yeah, your battle was sick, mate. I mean, I'm not going to break down every single battle or every single bar or even what was said to each other, but I just think that the way you command the crowd and the way that you can just you were winning the battle without even battling. When he'd say something and then you're just so witty, you'd come out with something back that just made him look like an idiot. So yeah, like you won the battle before you, like, half of the time when you weren't even rapping. But the way you command the stage and the way you talk to the crowd and stuff like that to me is what separates the men from the boys in a lot of ways. That shows you as an MC, a master of ceremonies.
Oh, safe, man, much appreciated. I was just gonna say, like, when I was watching a few of Serious Jones's recent battles and that, I did pick up on something. And it's like he psychologically likes to try and be in control of shit. He likes to talk while people are spitting sometimes. I mean, that's why Math punched him at the end of the day. He fucking literally wooed after one of Math's bars. Like, how much buoyant is that during next man's verse to detract attention away from them spitting? So I knew he had it in him to try and do shit to detract attention away from me spitting. So before I went into it, I just decided in myself, he's not getting an inch. If he says something, I'm saying something back every time. I'm always going to say something smart arse right back to him every time. So I made a point to do that. I wouldn't usually do that. I give people get from me what they give. So if someone's respectful, they get nothing but respect. But if they have a strategy which is like, I deem disrespectful, I'll be the same way back. It's not that I'm looking to disrespect my opponents. I'm looking to keep it rap. I don't need to take it there. But I did notice that he had a habit of doing that in previous battles, so I was ready anytime he said anything, just with some smart ass shit to say back to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you went in expecting that shit, and that's why you took control from the start.
Yeah, like, even, man, the psychology of battle rap is so interesting to me, because I'll tell you something. Just before the battle started, the DJ spanned 2 tracks. The first track was a boom bap primo track. I forget what it was. I think it was Big L or some shit, yeah. And I noticed Jones rapping along to little bits of it.
Yeah.
And I was rapping along to it as well, and I was like, this is cool. Me and him are both rapping along to this shit, and some people in the crowd are rapping along to it, you know. Yeah. But then the DJ spanned the next thing, and it was Murder by Kalashnikov, and he shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So straight away I was like, yo, this is an opportunity for me to get a huge psychological advantage with the crowd before we even start spitting. So straight away I pointed to him and I goes, he doesn't know this shit. And then I just started spitting the whole thing and like try to hype the crowd up and get the crowd into it and shit. And you know what? People don't realise, but straight away that's us all making friends. He's now the outsider. He doesn't know this shit. We all know this shit. Like, that's all psychology, mate. People might not even see that's what I'm doing, but I understand this game inside out. That is what I was doing. I was like, this is an opportunity for him to not be able to say shit, and me and all the crowd to have fun. I've been on the receiving end of that,
bro, so I know what it's like. Check this, when I went to Battle Censor, I was like, I was fully on that, like, look, regardless of whether the crowd like me or they like Censor more, before we get there, I'm the one who's repping the north of England, battling in the north in an Aggie with an Aggie Manchester crowd, and he's coming up from Norwich, so I'd like to think I've got the home field advantage. But I got there, and I arrived late because our car blew up and we had to get a different car and shit. Long story. This is why when I battle Censor, I've got a hat on with all what that looks fucking soaking wet because it was pissing it down outside and we'd been stuck in the rain. Anyway, I turned up and Censor was having they used to have a freestyle tournament before the battles had even started, like warm up, and he'd entered it. So he was battling freestyle on the stage, and I looked, and as soon as I walked in, Censor was on stage battling. We crowd went mental for him when they were having a sick freestyle clash. All like, oh shit, he's already won the crowd over before I even fucking got here. Luckily, luckily it didn't make no difference. But I've been on the other side of that psychological shit. And it's true. So you did good there. But overall, it was a sick event, man. Don't Flop's been doing its whole other thing while I've not been following it and I've not been around. But just to know that there's a lot of the old faces still repping at events and stuff, it were cool and I enjoyed it. And I'll definitely be going to another one. I don't know when, but I will be.
Next time I'm battling, mate.
Oh yeah, I'll be there, of course, man. Yeah, there was a couple of people I had to talk to. I'm not even going to get into it on this podcast, but there were a couple of people that I had to have words with. That ended that went a certain way. So, but I'll save that for Battle Rap Resume. We can talk about that whenever Battle Rap Resume says
well,
that,
you still look pretty as always, mate. So I know the way that went, innit?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's only ever gonna go one way, but
that's it.
We'll save that for Battle Rap Resume. What I want to get into next is I went to see...
Saving it for Battle Rap Resume? Why are you giving that podcast all the exclusives? Now, big up Tom Quay. I actually met Tom at the thing as well.
Tom was there?
Yeah, man.
He never said Wagwan.
You know what? Just from the way he sounded, I expected him to be some hobbit-looking fella. My man's like 6'3".
He never said out to me. Maybe he did, and I don't remember. I don't remember, no. And we've talked...
He was the breeder... like, have you seen all the interviews on the channel with the breeder with a fucking official Don't Flop mic and shit?
No.
Tom Quay was like doing the post and pre-battle interviews and shit.
Well, I never Tom Quay. Man didn't even
see that, Tom. Theo was giving his time to you. You didn't even give him the dignity of a fucking hello.
Maybe he didn't recognise me. I don't know. Maybe he didn't recognise me. It's been a while since I read the events, but he probably didn't even expect to see me there. So many people come up to me and they're like, "Fuck, are you doing here? Not seen you for ages," and I'm just like, "Yo, my boy's battling. I'm there." So either way,
I like it though, mate. We're like the myths of this. We're the Kaiser Sozes of this battle shit. You know what I mean? And then whenever one of us comes out, when one of us goes to war, we all go to war. Get me?
Standard. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's it. What's he said, Eminem? When it's beef, we pass it round and we share it, and we like a badge of honour, we wear it.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Anyway, what I want to talk about next is I went to watch Guardians of the Galaxy last week, and I said that I'd give a quick Lowdown Shelter review of how that went down. And mate, I was so buzzing to go into that cinema all week. I couldn't wait to get into it. And I'm not even good. Sometimes when I review films on here, I feel like I just go on and on and on, and people can't be asked to listen to it. But no, it was sick. I proper enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, it delivers everything from the first film and more. It's got a sick soundtrack. The intro sequence is fucking amazing. The whole sequence of the whole intro sequence of the film is the Guardians battling this giant monster that's feeding off these batteries. So they're like guarding this big battery power plant kind of thing from this huge fucking tentacle monster. And the monster lands, and then just as they start fighting it, Baby Groot plugs in this stereo, music starts playing, and the camera just follows Baby Groot round while he's doing a dance. But in the background there's all this mad shit, chaotic shit happening, but the camera just stays on Baby Groot while he's dancing around with the title sequence playing. It's fucking sick. In the first film, Baby Groot was like one of the best members of the team that repped. In this, he's just like a little hindrance. In a funny way. Just in case you're not up to date or you don't remember, in the first film, Groot dies and then they bring him back through a little twig and he becomes Baby Groot. So yeah, sick intro sequence. So many sick cameos from everyone. When I heard Sylvester Stallone's voice, and I'm like, yes, Sylvester Stallone's coming on screen, and he turned up, and yeah, he was sick, man. He's not in it for long, but he's in a couple of scenes. How's
his outfit?
Yeah, he looks sick. He's kind of like got a nice crisp outfit with a scarf that's tied really tight up to his chin. And he's hench as fuck. He's got one of his goons is like an alien that's head's just made of diamonds. That like when he chats his mouth, it goes like clunk clunk, like diamonds banging on each other. He's got a sick Ravager faction. Apparently there's 100 Ravager factions, and Stallone's the leader of them all. So yeah, he was in there. He was sick. Do you know who the biggest turnaround character for the whole film was? Michael Rooker. He's the one that made this movie, in my opinion. As much as it's got
Who's Michael Rooker?
Oh, Michael Rooker's a legendary actor. Michael Rooker's in so many things. You might remember him as from Walking Dead, Daryl's brother, Merrill, with the knife on his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Rooker,
I know that, brother.
He plays Yondu. Yeah. In the first film, he's kind of like, he's not a baddie, he's a bit like an anti-hero. He's a bit of a
my man with the mohawk, yeah.
Yeah. He's blue with a mohawk, and so in the first one, he's kind of like a bad guy, not really, but he's kind of a hindrance to the team. But in the second one, he starts off like that, and then he quickly becomes by the end of it, like he has such a good turnaround, like he does in Walking Dead, the episode where he dies. He starts off as such a piece of shit, and by the end of the episode, you fucking love him. And that's what they do in this film. So I'm not even going to give away spoilers too much on this one because it's irrelevant. But Michael Rooker reps it. It's a sick movie. Howard the Duck gets a cameo in there again, which I always got to show love to, because Howard the Duck's one of my favourite Marvel characters ever. And yeah, it's just sick. Kurt Russell is so sick in it. He plays the part so good. I mean, Kurt Russell's just the coolest guy ever. But he plays Star-Lord's dad perfect. And at the start of the film, you see they go back to 1980 and they show young Kurt Russell driving around in his car with Star-Lord's mom, and they do the CG thing, you know, where they make the face look young, that they can do now. Yeah. Oh mate, it's the best example of it I've ever seen. I'm watching it going, have they put prosthetics on his face? It looks so good. So it was wicked to see young Kurt Russell there again. The only thing I will say about it, and you know me, I never like to shit on things, especially Marvel stuff, but the only thing that kind of didn't do it for me was there were a lot of cheap laughs. Do you know what I mean? There were a lot of like cheap jokes, which I don't think it needs. So it was just not as classy as the first one in some of the jokes. And that's it. There were just quite a few cheap laughs. And when I've watched a lot of reviews, there's a lot of people saying a similar thing. Also, if Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is like Star Wars, this is like Star Trek. This is more like them traveling to a crazy planet and exploring it and finding stuff out. But man, it was sick. And also, there was even more cameos in it, bro. Ving Rhames turns up at the end, and he's one of the Ravager faction leaders. I can't remember, but the chick who's in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, who's in all of them, she plays one of the Ravager leaders. There were just so many cool. The Watchers turned up. The Watchers from Marvel Universe with Stan Lee. So many cool cameos from every direction. David Hasselhoff fucking cameos in this film, bro.
No way.
Yeah. Well, what was really cool is that Star-Lord didn't have a dad. Peter Quill doesn't have a dad. So as a kid, he used to have a picture of David Hasselhoff in his wallet, and he'd tell people, that's my dad, and he's away filming his TV show, so that's why he's never around. So he's just had this picture in his wallet all this time. And then at the end of the film, basically, Kurt Russell is Star-Lord's dad, but he's a celestial. He's like a god. He takes the form of a human, and he ends up being the bad guy of the movie. So even though Kurt Russell's his actual dad, Yondu, Michael Rooker, is the guy that raised him, and he always told the little kid that he only kept him for himself and didn't give him to basically, the story is Kurt Russell paid Yondu. Kurt Russell's called Ego. Ego paid Yondu to bring Peter Quill to him, kidnap him from Earth when he was a little kid and bring him to Kurt Russell, and he never did. He kept Kurt Russell for himself because he kept Peter Quill for himself because he was a small little kid. He could reach into places to steal stuff. But you find out after, it wasn't just because of that. It's because he learned to like the kid, and he knew that if he would to take him to his dad would have killed him, because he basically bred with different beings on all different planets to try and find a kid that were worthy of helping him build this planet together. And he didn't want to risk killing him. So at the end of the film, Peter realizes that although Kurt Russell's his dad, it was Yondu that's raised him. So he's like his daddy, do you know what I mean? And he said, my dad was like David Hasselhoff. He was cooler. He flew around space and had a spaceship and went on adventures and didn't let no one fuck with him and was cool as fuck. So like he kind of puts together at the end that my dad was fucking way cooler than David Hasselhoff ever were. But yeah, there's just a bit where Kurt Russell is like changing into different forms, to like saying, "Who do you want me to be? I can be anyone you want," and he turns into David Hasselhoff. So it was funny, but it still kind of worked. And at the end of the film, when the credits are playing, the music that's playing is the Guardians of the Galaxy theme, but remixed into like a disco track with David Hasselhoff singing the lyrics to it, which is cool as fuck. So big up to James Gunn for bringing Hasselhoff through and getting him a bit more money and getting him in a Marvel movie, bro. I've heard a really cool fact, and it's true. Obviously, James Gunn started in Trauma, working with Lloyd Kaufman. This is a dude that shouldn't be given these kind of budgets. Like in reality, people like him shouldn't be getting big budgets, but to make this kind of shit. But the fact that he is being given this budget to do what he wants, that's why he turns out such fucking awesome material.
Yeah.
And there was 5 after credit sequences. It was rumored to have 5 after credit sequences. They basically keep showing little scenes throughout the credits. And I'm not even going to get into what they all are, but I will tell you, none of them tie into Infinity War, which I was hoping one of them would at least tie into Infinity War, but it didn't. But that's fine.
Are they good though?
Yeah, they're sick. One of them's got Stallone in, a little bit more Stallone, so I'm buzzing off that. One of them shows Adam Warlock, who is a Marvel character that people have been waiting for a long time, coming into the MCU. One of them's Baby Groot. Now he's grown up older and he's like a teenager. And he's like acting like a stroppy kid. So yeah, it's cool, man. The film is fucking cool. Go and see it. Support that. It's an amazing like next part of the MCU universe.
And that's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, yeah.
Yeah, Volume 2. But it's also a very good. What he's done with these movies, although they take place in the same world as the MCU and they do tie into them, that they're also very much their own thing. So even if you're not really into Avengers movies, you can still enjoy them as a separate thing. Not that I would ever do that.
I did even hear, even when the first Guardians of the Galaxy came out, that the humour was vastly improved compared to the other Marvel films, and it had its own thing going. Like, that's at the end of the day, Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't a big franchise. The film had to have been good, because it would have fallen on its arse just like the Fantastic Four movies and all of that shit, had it have been in subpar. So I've heard the first one's just a very good film, you know what I mean?
No, it's fucking sick. So keeping with their MCU theme, quickly, today they dropped the trailer for The Defenders, which I've been waiting for a long time. I'm as buzzing for The Defenders as I am for any Marvel movie, and it's going to be wicked. So anyone that don't know, Netflix has a series of shows that come on that all take place within the same world as Avengers and stuff like that, but they're like ground level, they're more low key. So you got characters like Daredevil and Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and this is a series that's bringing together for the 4 shows that have existed so far: Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage and Iron Fist, with Sigourney Weaver as the villain. I think it's going to be like an 8-part series. It's not going to be like a 13-part, whatever the other ones are. But yeah, the trailer dropped today and it was sick, and I'm majorly looking forward to that. And we can say a bit more closer to the time, I suppose. But
here's a question.
Yeah.
Does because you know how when you were reviewing Iron Fist, the TV series, you were saying that he doesn't get his outfit throughout the whole series.
Oh, he's got to get it in. Is that what the question were? Will he get it in this?
Well, yeah. In the Defenders trailer, do any of them have the outfits yet or anything like that?
You just see Elektra and Daredevil with their outfits, but we haven't ever seen Jessica Jones, Luke Cage or Iron Fist in any kind of outfit. But they kind of need to, because you can't have a series with 4 heroes fighting together but only one of them wears a cool outfit and all the other ones dress normal. It's going to look a bit fucking out of place.
In street clothes, that's like the ECW of the Marvel universe. They all just come out in fucking jeans and tank tops and shit.
They all look like fucking Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they need to give him some kind of sick outfit. Luckily, Daredevil has like a personal tailor that makes all his outfits. He's actually a character. Well, there's 2 gladiators. There's 2 characters called Gladiator in the Marvel universe, but the more low key Gladiator, it's actually based on him. This dude. So maybe he's the dude that sorts them out with an outfit. But I know one thing: they're not going to get the outfits until the very last fucking episode, because that's what they do with these Netflix shows. They get the outfit in the very last episode. But yeah, they'll look sick. I'm not sure which direction they'll go with it, with people like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. What direction they'll go in with outfits, but
except obviously the Punisher hold tight. Punisher holds it down in his outfit from fucking day dot on the Netflix shit.
He doesn't though. He don't get his actual skull until the last episode either.
Oh, for real? Oh, man.
Even though when he does the prison fight, you see like a splattered bullet skull on his chest vaguely. He doesn't actually get his skull on his armor until the last episode, but it's sick when he turns up like that. So, and I'm hoping the Punisher has a cameo in the Defenders, because that's my fucking guy, John Bernthal as the Punisher. Frank Castle is my favourite Marvel character, so I'm hoping he turns up as well.
Is Frank Castle, out of all the Marvel people, your favourite character, yeah?
Pretty much. I mean, I love so many of the Marvel characters, don't get me wrong, but characters, I like the ones that... It used to be Deadpool for years, but now it's not. Obviously, due to reasons I've spoke about before, I've always loved Punisher, and as I've got older, I've just learnt to love Punisher even more. Ghost Rider and all these one of my favourites. I like the ones that aren't like your standard, your conventional superhero. If you could make a Punisher movie yourself, say you got given it, is there a specific story you would want to make that you're aware of in the Punisher universe, or any fucking way you would want to portray him you ain't seen him portrayed as of yet? Well, I'm gonna say like Punisher versus the Marvel Universe, because that's an actual comic that exists where he kills everyone in the Marvel Universe, but that's like a what if, so I wouldn't make that. Maybe like
would that be able to be made into a good story for the film, though, or is it just literally sort of like fucking Godzilla?
Yeah, exactly.
Where he's just on a killing spree, scene after scene.
I wouldn't want to just do a straight linear Punisher storyline. It'd have to be Punisher with someone. You know me, I'm all about building that world up, and I'd like to see him do more. But there's a sick, I can't remember which one it's called, but he also appears in the game. You do this mission, but him and Nick Fury, the old Nick Fury, not Samuel Jackson Nick Fury, the other version. Where the
David Hasselhoff motherfucker.
Well, yeah, but I don't think he'd play him. They're in a jungle, and Punisher has like war paint with a Punisher skull painted on his face and shit like that. Would be a sick scene to throw in there.
You know, David Hasselhoff has played Nick Fury.
Yeah,
though.
Of course I do.
Yeah,
of course I do.
Just making
the
sure.
Listeners might not, but I know. I know that.
Yeah.
So, I love Punisher. I love the characters that don't have any powers, but they still fucking rumble anyway. Punisher don't have any powers, but he will go with Galactus. He don't give a fuck. he will go with anyone. Do you know one of my favourite comics ever was Punisher was Ash versus Marvel Zombies. Ash from Evil Dead. It's Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies. Ash is like, as he spends most of his time flying through portals in time and shit, and he lands in New York, like at the very breakout of the Marvel Zombies, like what if comics that they did. And he teams up with Punisher for a bit in that. And Punisher, he don't even care that there's zombies. He just wants to kill Kingpin, and he just sees it as a very good opportunity to go and take Kingpin out while all New York's in fucking turmoil. And he teams up.
That's why I always had so much respect for fucking Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat as well, because when you think about it, right, at least the other two, at least Liu Kang, I suppose Kano as well, but he's like a traitor fighting for the other world, isn't it? But at least Liu Kang and Sonya Blade are like trained. You know what I mean? Liu Kang's been trained from birth knowing the legend of this tournament, and Sonya Blade's is like special ops. Johnny Cage is just like a pompous actor who knows martial arts, but his ego is such though. His ego is such that when he gets put on a boat and taken to a different realm, he's like, what, so this is an opportunity for me to prove bring it the fuck on, I'm the sickest, carry my suitcase and let me fight this monster from fucking Mars, let's go. So like, big him up, he's like pompous, but you know, he's not a diva. He'll go to a different realm and fight monsters just to prove his ego, do you know what I mean?
Liu Kang was obviously based on Bruce Lee, Sonya Blade was based on Cynthia Rothrock, and Johnny Cage was based on Van Damme. So,
And a lot of these fighting game characters, like, do you know the whole Street Fighter thing with the names getting changed and shit?
Oh yeah, there's loads, and now Billy Blanks is the he's the template for DJ and stuff. They were all at it back then, but that's cool.
And obviously M Bison, his original name I believe was Vega. Vega was Sagat, and M Bison was Balrog. Right, Balrog was Vega was Sagat, and Balrog was M Bison because he's based on Mike Tyson, right? In Japan, in Japan, Balrog is M Bison, Vega is Balrog, and So it's mad, isn't it? But
it makes sense. Because he's obviously based on Tyson,
Yeah. So, but because it obviously when it came out in the West, they didn't want to get sued.
Yeah.
They just juggled the names around. So over here, we will forever know the final boss is M Bison. But yeah, over there, it's either Vega or Balrog or Sagat, or like he's called instead. I forget exactly what way round it is, but yeah. So there you go. Bit of Street Fighter trivia for you there.
That's it. So this is the, I always like to try and talk about something that's like faddy at the minute. Last week we were talking about the texting stories, and we were talking about the meme of the West Ham hooligans. This week, I can't even deny that I ain't got obsessed with them myself, but everyone is smashing these spinners, these fidget spinners. I've got ADHD, so me and these fidget spinners go hand in hand. I know you've got a spinner, I got a spinner. The dude who owns the shop next to the tattoo shop selling fucking spinners all day, every day, can't get enough of them in. Where did these come from, and why are people buzzing off them so much? I know why I am, because I just love fidgety things.
Well, I'm the same, and on top of that, I like anything where like spinning now. For some. Yeah, I'm spinning it just so people can get a little listen there. That's that shit spinning. But I don't even have ADHD. I'm slightly OCD, but I'm definitely fidgety. So yeah, it's just like, plus spinning shit's cool, man. It looks like a shuriken in your fucking hand, innit? It's just. And like, you know, you got me into butterfly knives as well. That's some other shit you can spin and flick about. Yeah. You got nunchucks as well. That's some other shit to spin and flick about. So I just like that sort of shit in general. You put me onto these spinners, and straight away I was like, yo, that's some extra shit I can add to my arsenal of things I can just sit and fuck about with, isn't it?
It's just ninja. I saw him on Instagram probably last year or some shit. Different types of people spinning them, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? You spin it so fast. And yeah, mate, like now they're getting like, I can get all of these like weighted brass ones and all kinds of mad ones. But my favourite is the 3-spinner, the one that you have. They're my favourite so far. Yeah, I just like to spin them around. But you know, they've been banned in schools. You're not allowed them in schools anymore because kids are spinning them out and then putting them next to each other's eyes and shit.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I suppose the schools prefer, you know, the old school way of dealing with fidgeting, where we just graffitied up the fucking desks and drew in the back of the jotters instead, I'm assuming.
Well, when I were in school, and you'll have been saying, the fad was yo-yos. People were mad for the yo-yos with the clutch in them. Bzzz, doing the clutch and the cat's cradle and putting them in puddles and shit like that, and they got banned after a bit in schools, yo-yos. Then after they were like a bag, it was like a rubber ball, a squishy like liquid with like a long stretchy fucking thing off that you put on your finger, like a big ball bag on a fucking bouncy string. Do you remember those?
No, I don't.
Yeah, like jelly rubber kind of thing that like ding bing ding bing ding that you bounce up and down. They got banned because people were wrapping them around each other's necks. Cat's cradle. Do you remember the cat's cradle? Everyone buzzing off in the 90s. That got banned from wrapping that around people's necks. And then Tamagotchis, because people weren't concentrating on work in class because they were too busy feeding a Tamagotchi and then crying when they died in class. So yeah,
maybe I'm showing my age, but I'm from like the Pog era.
Yeah, Pogs as well. They probably got banned because people were fighting over trading them. Anything that's any kind of fad will get banned in schools. So it was only a matter of time before these spinners were. But if you've not got a spinner, usually I'm against all this faddy shit, but get yourself a spinner and have a fucking spin. Because I sit drawing and I've constantly got the bzzz, bzzz in my left hand just spinning it.
And plus, I'm not giving anyone any suggestions, but you know, you could get good at spinning it. And then there are variations of spinners which I might or might not have, which are just straight like shurikens with the same weight system in them. So you could essentially like spin it in your hand and then fucking fling it at someone. You should check it out. Just type in shuriken fidget spinners and see what you find, innit? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just get yourself a spinner and spin your little fucking heart out because it's fun. Do you know what though? I'm worrying now that what if I get so obsessed with my spinner that if they stop selling spinners or they ban spinners or something like that, like how we're gonna cope without a spinner? What if I want to spin and I can't?
I don't know, man. You could get yourself. I have the trainer bally song. Or the comb bally song for people. For people that don't know, by the way, a bally song is the flail or butterfly knife. But yeah, I suppose if they're legal to, like, people can't say shit if you're just fucking about with a comb.
No, well,
If
a practice bally song you can buy on eBay for about £7, and you can flick that all day, and there's nothing illegal about it. So that's a very, I mean, I've been training with the bally song for years, bro. I love the butterfly.
Yeah,
note,
you're incredible with the bally song.
Thank you.
I'm obviously just starting to learn it. I've got one move down, and the shit you can do looks like fucking rocket science to me just now. But yeah, I'll get there. I'll put in the work. You know me.
Sure
I'll put in the work.
You'll be
with
putting
it.
a video up on your YouTube or something at some point, won't you? When you're a bit better at it, like you do with
Nah,
your, with
nah,
your
not with a
jokes.
bally song.
No?
Not with a bally song.
Wait a couple of years.
Yeah. I like showing people. Well, you know what it is. I film my kickboxing sessions anyway because I fucking go through my own shit with a red marker pen. That's the OCD side of me. So
Yeah.
I watch my shit back and I'm like, I need to keep my right hand higher when I throw the cross. I need to fucking put my hip more into this shot. I need to fucking everything like that, little technical details. But then when I think I've had a good session or I just ain't put anything up in a while, I'm like, fuck it, I'll show people what I'm doing, innit?
But that's why you're an incredible martial artist. You'll do like one of the sickest fucking ninja sweeps I've ever seen, man. I've let you hit me with that a few times filming. Remember, like the proper ninja scorpion Sub-Zero back and I think it's like,
you
is
know
it like
what's...
back and circle or something you press back
That's
and
the
B
one.
or some shit. Whatcha! The little the spinning crouch down sweep.
Do you remember the take? Yeah, you were like, yo, so for this take, I want you to do the sweep right up until you touch my heel, then stop. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then I done the sweep, and the fucking momentum I had, there was no way I was stopping, mate. So I just legit fucking ninja sweeped you. There was nothing I could do.
And I was kicking. I walk in to kick you in the head, just like a standard roundhouse to the side of the head, the crow cop kick. And so I was like, as I kicked, then you hit me with the sweep. And it fucking hurt, man.
Oh man, but yeah, I bet the take looked good though, because that was just a legit fucking sweep.
The long lost archives of unused Unit 11 footage. That was a sick take right there. And I've still got all the footage. Obviously, I've still got that shit. I can still dig that out if needed.
Yeah, you know what's sick though? Like if we done that again, I would want to have the fight scene sorted in advance so I could drill every individual technique so they would look as good as possible.
Well, that was when we first met, bro. We just
because you see that ninja sweep,
yeah.
You see that ninja sweep. I do not drill that point blank. Do not drill it. So on the day that was like an unrefined. Like you were like, yo, do a ninja sweep, and I was like, well, I understand how they do it, but I don't drill it. But yeah, like, see if we were to do that again. Imagine if I drilled that for 2 months, because you know what I'm like, mate. If you give me 2 months and be like, oh, learn how to do that to a respectable level, I'll come back and have learned it to a respectable level.
Without a doubt. I know for a fact that, like, the next thing we do, you're definitely going to be in that, and we're definitely going to be doing a fight scene, so that will happen.
Ninja sweeping through.
And I don't care what the film is next. I don't care if it's a romantic comedy, down to earth, fucking little thing set in the north of England. There's still going to be a fight scene with myself and BA, and he's going to hit me with that sweep.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, even if it's like a little low-budget, low-key drama about a fucking school teacher or some shit, like dealing
even
with
if
depression.
It is a romantic
it's still going to be a
comedy,
fight scene. He will still flick through the channels and see a ninja film with myself and BA doing a fight scene where I get hit with that
Bro,
sweep.
I was just about to say the only way you could work it feasibly into the script is if it's like a movie on TV screens in the background, like every now and again in the film and shit.
You heard it here first. That's definitely happening.
Yeah, no, we'll do it, man. I'll make sure it's sick, mate. Make sure it's sick.
So,
because the other thing was on that day, because we literally fucking didn't have any rehearsal time or nothing. We just went to the location and then just were like, right, what should we do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was no time for any special effects. So we had no blood props. There could be no knife or weapon work. There was no props for arms to get hacked off. So it was like the most basic martial arts scene we could conjure up on the day. So yeah, if we ever did it again, we'd fucking make it a billion times sicker, obviously.
Of course we would. Of course we would. And the fight scenes that I do in Unit 11, like obviously you're not in them, but like a lot of them was put together on the spot. But I'm a much better fighter now than I were then. So there's stuff now that I can do that I couldn't do then, and I just understand movies a lot more. And also I'm the one editing it, so I know where to put the camera. I'll be like, Oh, and then back then I only had one camera as well, so it'd be like we'd had to do the sweep 7 times from different angles to get like 3 good ones.
I remember, mate. See, the next day, man,
Yeah.
my legs were killing me, man. Just from each individual take of each individual strike, I ended up having to bust hundreds and hundreds of fucking kicks that day.
Yeah, bear in mind it was that someone else was actually getting hit with them kicks hundreds and hundreds of times. So I think they
Yeah, no doubt, man. But remember, we lost the gun. Remember
Yeah.
the gun that got lost in the abyss, mate? Because in the first take, right, so this guy pulls a gun and I do an outside crescent kick to the inside of his wrist and kick the gun out of his hand.
Yeah, yeah.
And the gun just went flying into this fucking puddle, and this puddle was just fucking too deep, and that gun was just gone.
Oh, it makes me sad that we're not using the scene, but there's reasons we're not using the scene, and like I said, the next film that BA's in, it will all make up for it without a doubt.
Yeah. Plus, I'm a better martial artist now as well, because I've been
you are.
fucking hardcore back on it, you know.
Yeah, big ups talking to Impact and his girlfriend that don't flop about martial arts. Them two
Oh,
are both.
yeah,
Are they
man.
blue belts in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, the blue belts in jiu-jitsu. I met these two individuals at we went backstage to do like photos. There was loads of us back there, innit? Like me, you, Raptor, loads of people. And met is it Impact, yeah?
Yeah, Impact, yeah.
Yeah, he's an MC as well, isn't he?
He's a
Battler.
battler called Impact, yeah.
Yeah, so big ups to Impact. And they were talking about like they listen to the podcast, in fact.
Yeah. They actually want to do their own podcast, him and his girlfriend. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, so...
Because she's got
so
a mouth
first
on her,
of
man.
all-
She's a sassy little fucker, so I can imagine them two doing a podcast.
Yeah, the way I met them, actually, it was slightly awkward because I didn't know anybody in the room, so I was, and I was like, yeah, blah, 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 fucking fighting, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden this little bud piped up like, do you know about fucking jiu-jitsu? You'd get choked out, and I was like, what? Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ended up being some little back and forth thing. It was all banter though, obviously.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you could tell. I mean, I know Impact well, but I've never met his girlfriend. And yeah, she said, I think you said same. You were like, oh, Theo's into fighting and stuff, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, well, I reckon I'd take you out or some shit. And I'm just like, who the fuck is this bird? Like, and then I started talking to her, I realised she was safe, and she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've watched all your battles. Luke showed him. Luke speaks very highly of you. So she knew I were. She was just being funny.
Just getting back.
Big
Nah,
up
they were
them
both
two.
sound as fuck, mate. And so yeah, anyways, so I got to talking to them, and it turns out she probably could have choked me unconscious because she's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt. So I don't care if she's only 115 pounds or whatever. If she got hold of my neck, chances are I'm probably fucked because that's how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu works. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think that's not the case, if you think you're tough out there and you think BA's talking shit, no, I beg you go to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym and challenge any one of their blue belt females to 5 minutes on a mat and see what happens to you, mate.
Well,
yeah, and
bro,
and Impact as well.
If Impact and his girlfriend want to have a 2-on-2 fighting, I'm down. If they want to have a tag team match.
Yeah, no, I'm down as well, man. We just need to keep his.
No, I am
missus
down. I am down. Just to clarify, BA's definitely down. He's not saying that he won't fight her.
No, I'm saying no. I'm still up for it. I'm still up for getting strangled unconscious. No, I'm saying if it was a tag team match, we'd have to strategize and like keep Impact on the outside of the ring,
he's
and
a
whenever.
Rare, bro. He's got.
Yeah, Mike. Because the
physique
thing
on
is, yeah. It's one thing his missus obviously could choke me unconscious and she's 115 pounds, but my man Impact obviously fucking looks after himself as well, so he could like fucking choke me unconscious while lifting me completely vertically in the air. I'd be trying to bust my kicks out, they'd be flailing, it'd be doing nothing sort of thing. Nah, it would be, in all honesty, it's the beautiful classic question of the striker versus the grappler, isn't it? But I would never want to fight them for real. But if it was a tag team match, we'd have to be like the bad guy wrestlers, and whenever she was crawling to the corner to tag in Impact, we'd like smack him in the face and then distract the referee and drag her back to our corner.
Also, if Killer Impact is as big if Impact's as big a fan as she made out that he is, he's gonna have the psychological thing and not wanting to hit us very hard because I can't really hit him. I like him too much. So we
That's
can
it.
use
Like
that
he'd put me in a guillotine. He'd put me in a guillotine, but he'd leave one artery open for me. He'd like, I can't fully choke this guy out, man. He might shit himself.
That'll be weak spot. That'll be his fucking error.
and then all of a sudden I fucking counter him into a Kimura, and he'll be like, "How did you know that?" And I'll be like, "Ah."
Yeah, but big ups to Impact and his girlfriend. That her name.
It's
her
all
name's
banter,
Sticks
by the
Man.
way.
Yeah,
You could both probably kill us. So yeah, it's all banter. But yeah,
I
no, you two were proper safe though. So
yeah.
big.
I forget a name, but bigger up. And also, Luke said he wanted to come on the podcast, so there's no reason why we can't get him on at some point, because they had a lot to fucking say, and he's into all the fucking movie shit as well.
I'd love to just shoot the shit about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with him on a podcast, to be honest, man.
Or something else I did last week that I wanted to talk about is Michael Parkinson, a UK hip-hop legend, hit me up and he was like, "Oh, I'm coming to Sheffield. I'm opening for KRS-One. You want to come down backstage?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that was sick. So I came down, met Parker. He opened for KRS-One. It was sick. It was a sick event. Everyone obviously loved KRS-One. And I got to meet Jest, which were cool as fuck. Have you met Jest yourself?
Yeah, I met Jest a couple of times, man.
Yeah, and do you know what? He was just like the fucking safest guy ever. Like, so hype and jumping about and dancing about and just making sure everyone were in good vibes. He was just that guy, bro.
Well, the first time I actually met Jest, it was me and Stig were at the Foreign Beggars Yard in London.
Right.
And Jest was just sitting chilling, and Metropolis from the Foreign Beggars came in the room and started battling me. So, but it was just in banter. He was basically battling me because he wanted to hear what I had to say back. You know, one of them ones. Yeah. Where like it's a respect thing, where they're just like putting a quarter in the jukebox just to hear the tune they want to hear.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, we were having a fun battle, but Jess was just kicking back and like catching jokes over the battle and shit. But that was the first time I ever met him, innit? It was just battling Metropolis at the Foreign Beggars Gaff.
That's a story to tell, bro. That's something to fucking remember. I used to go. I listened to Jess so much growing up. Like I know every word to his fucking Alcoholic Author and all that shit. His High Plains Drifter album.
Oh, same mate. See the High Plains Drifter LP. Like he did that. I swear he did that EP, but then he did an LP and put some of the same shit out in it. And even to this day, like, have you heard City of Industry?
Yeah, definitely. I heard it for a long time. But
I think that's one of the most incredible tunes ever. I remember I was at Big Dev's house. Big Dev gets bare shout outs on this podcast, by the way. Shout out to fucking Big Dev every time. The Don, that is why. And I was at Dev's house one day and he played me this record. And he was like, "Do you recognise that?" And I was like, "Nah." And then he fucking switched the speed on the deck, you know, to the slowdown setting. Yeah. And then it was all of a sudden, boom, 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 you know, the City of Industry tune. And I was like, that is so fucking sick. Like, so yeah, I got a little insight as to how Jess found that break as well. He just slowed down his fucking vinyl one day.
Was it Harry Love that made those beats, or a lot of them?
I believe actually at the time Jest was making a lot of the beats on the High Plains Drifter LP, but feel free to correct me out there, someone, if I'm incorrect on that. But I do think Jest had a lot of say in his early production, but again, I may be incorrect.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I know Harry Love did Alcoholic Author though, 100%.
What a tune. Harry Love. Did Harry Love also do? There's one in Kiddlehood. I forget the fucking song, but there's a tune that plays at the start of Kiddlehood, like when they're in school and stuff, and it's got Jest on it and shit. And I think Harry Love did that beat. In fact, you know what? I remember we met Harry Love at Don't Flop, the Blood in the Water 5, was it, when I battled Tantrum? Harry Love was there, bro. So and he was going around just like bigging people up, saying, "Yo, I'm Harry Love. Like if you need beats, holler me." He was talking to Els and shit. Long time, a lifetime ago now, but yeah, very fucking.
I gotta say, man, just fucking thinking about it, like. Big ups to Jest. Back in them days, Jest had proper, well thought out, well structured bars, man. Took time on his bars back in them days, man.
No one sounded like Jest.
Alcoholic Author, mate. Like fascinated by the fire, like a child trying to touch the flame. I seek change like a busker, but things stay much the same. That's fucking sick, bro. You know what I mean? There's so many quotables in them old tunes of Jest, man. So big up that shit.
I've been to see
Classic.
Jest live like 5 times, and then I actually got to chill with him backstage. And I sound like I'm on some fanboy shit, and I'm sure most of the people in UK hip hop would fucking chill with Jest all the time. But for me personally, he's one of the few guys I hadn't actually met, and just him being cool as fuck. and meeting him backstage at KRS-One and chilling with him for a good few hours. And obviously, Parky's my guy, so to chill with him was just fucking sick. I took him for a sick burrito, and they were just buzzing, had a good time in Chef. So I wanted to shout that out.
You know, the first time I met Michael Parkinson, I forget where the fuck we were. We were at some gig somewhere in England. It was me and Blade and like Michael Parkinson, a bunch of other people on the bill. And me and Michael Parkinson ended up having a borderline debate / argument on stage.
Really?
About who smoked the most weed. and I was like, nah, mate, I will smoke you under the table. And he was like, bruv, you can't tell me nothing about smoking until you've had kids and all that. And I was like, nah, no chance. So yeah. The crowd got an interesting little, fucking back and forth that night.
Oh yeah, that's some funny banter, brother. Yeah, it was sick, man. After me and Parky, we go way back all through the Don't Flop days and shit. Yeah, even just coming to events and supporting. And shouts to him as well when I was in London. He just phoned me up and he's like, "You're still in London, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Listen, there's a free hip-hop gig today. I'm not going to be there, but I just wanted to let you know that it's there because I want you to have a sick time in London." And Genesis, Elijah, Philly and Dots, Kalashnikov and all this, they're all performing there and it's free. So if you're free, get yourself down. So it was a cool thing just to let... In fact, Mike Assassin texted me as well just after that saying the same thing. So 2 fucking dons right there making sure that we have a good time in London. But we was at the Natural History Museum. I don't know if you've ever been, bro, but it's fucking mind-blowing in there. It's like one of my favourite places in the world.
I have never been, but I remember the first time you went, you were like showing me pictures of the gaff and shit. Yeah. It looks incredible.
Well, I went that basically like years ago. I think how many years ago did we now? About 8-9 years ago. I split up with my first girlfriend, and I was just like, do you know what? Fuck everything. And I looked online, and Ray Harryhausen was signing in London. So we're like, that's it. Fuck the world. I'm gonna meet my fucking one of my heroes, one of the most influential people in cinema of all time. Fucking Ray Harryhausen down in London. So I went down, bought his book and got it. Oh, I already had his book. I took my book down and bought another book of his while I was there and got them both signed. Met Ray Harryhausen, rest in peace, fucking legend, someone that like influenced pretty much every filmmaker in the world.
That's awesome. You got an opportunity to meet him before.
Yeah,
he
that's
away
it, bro.
well,
like, I don't really like meeting people like that style where it's just you go to a desk and you meet him for 2 seconds and then you've got to go. But like the dude was like almost 90 when I met him or something, so I needed to go and fucking see him before it was too late, kind of thing. And meeting him was sick. We had to write because he had like quite he was quite hard of hearing at this point, so I had to write my name on a post-it and stick it on my book, do you know, so he knew who to sign the book to. Didn't charge for signatures. Do you know what I mean? You get these people charging for signatures. Didn't charge. I had a big massive queue, and he's there signing autographs. Next minute, fucking John Landis walks in. John Landis just walked into Forbidden Planet dressed like John Landis with his suit on, with his glasses and his grey beard. Just walks in and starts and just there chatting to Ray Harryhausen. And someone says, "Why are you here?" He goes, "What do you mean, why am I here? It's Ray fucking Harryhausen. I'm getting my fucking book signed." So
that's so sick.
Yeah, John Landis had come to just to see his boy Ray Harryhausen and get his new book signed by him, like show him his love. Like that's fucking cool as fuck. If there was gonna be a Mount Rushmore of like influential film faces in genre, like Harryhausen and Landis are up there. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that Landis came out to show love to Harryhausen, fucking cool as fuck. So yeah, I wrote Theo on the post-it note and I give him my book to sign and he goes, "Oh, Theo, like Theodopoulos," and he signed my book and I shook his hand and it was one of the fucking best days of my life. So straight after that I went to the Natural History Museum and I've not been back since, and I went this weekend and I just fucking love it, man. The whale skeletons in there, the fucking dinosaur bones. I'll tell you a little story. I got a Triceratops skull tattooed on my arm. It was the first proper tattoo that I got. And the reason I went with the Triceratops skull, even though I fucking love dinosaurs, is I'm a vegetarian, and the Triceratops is a herbivore too. Yeah, a Triceratops will fucking kill a T-Rex if it comes to it. Do you know what I mean? So I have to. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is that just because I'm a vegetarian, I will still fucking go with a T-Rex and potentially kill one if it fucking starts. Even though I love the T-Rex, I have to hold it down for my boy the Triceratops. So I went to see the Triceratops skeleton there, which is fucking cool, and I had a picture next to it showing my tattoo. You can see that on Instagram. Just love that shit, man. I just love that place. Everywhere you look's just something fucking unbelievable. Do you know what? Yeah, there's so many prehistoric fucking creatures that people just don't even know about. And there's so many cool ones in there. There's the giant prehistoric sloth, bro. This thing's about fucking 18 foot tall.
Sloth,
yeah, stood on its hind legs. It's about 18 foot tall. It's not quite a sloth, but it's like there. It's almost a sloth, and they've got it on a tree, and it's like one of the most impressive things you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So just make sure you go to the Natural History Museum if you're into dinosaurs or creatures. Like, you just have to go. It's not full of artifacts. It's literally just full of biology and geology and skeletons. And you just need to go and see that. The giant whale skeletons strung up are one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And because I've got long arms, I could reach over the balcony and just fucking touch the whale's teeth and shit and actually feel how that stuff is, which is... How often do you get to do that, bro? How often do you get to feel a fucking whale's tooth?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't...
How heavy is a whale's tooth? Could it be fashioned into a sword, a knife?
No, whale's teeth are like bristles, aren't they? It's like a brush.
Oh,
it's
right.
Like a fucking brush, bro. So that's what it's like. So there is some whales. I think it might be the sperm whale that has actual teeth, because they do, because some was washed up on Skegness Beach last year. Do you remember seeing any of those pictures?
No, I do not.
Last year, like along the coast of Skegness and further up, there were like 4 or 5 whales that got washed up, or 5 or 6 or something like that. And they said it was down to some kind of like military sonar that sent them off course, something like that. But yeah, they washed up on Skegness Beach, and people were going down and sawing the fucking jawbone off the whale and taking it because you can sell the whale's teeth. So I mean, there were a lot of people that were, to me, were the shitheads that were going down and taking selfies with the whales and just like fucking trying to get likes on Facebook by taking pictures of them. But I personally would have liked to go down just to respect these magnificent creatures that had been washed up on the beach, and also just seeing them that close, just from a fucking museum fanatic point of view. I would have liked to have gone down, but I didn't. But yeah, it was a mad time. Like, imagine walking on the beach at Skegness and there's 3 full-size fucking whales just there dead.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you ever remember that fucking video of this giant whale washed up on a beach, and they decided that the best way to deal with it would be to blow it up?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the thing is, there's all gas, isn't there, what builds up inside them, and there's a video of someone. Yeah. There's a video of someone like cutting it, and it just goes bang and sends him fucking flying. So
I've seen that video as well. Yeah.
So I think that they had to blow it up just to move it because it was so big. Luckily, these.
Yeah, and fucking, it's obviously a famous video of, like, it was a terrible decision because bits of that fucking whale just peppered the entire fucking town. Yeah. Like, they got fucking shrapnel bombed with whale guts, you know what I mean? So, also, by the way, do you know that the trailer for The Dark Tower came out? So the Stephen King book, The Dark Tower.
I saw Idris Elba's in it, and I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to give it the proper time to watch it back. I was watching The Defenders, and then I saw that, but then I had to go, so I haven't seen that. What's that saying?
No, I haven't even seen the trailer yet either, but it'll be interesting to see how it comes about, because obviously it's one of Stephen King's most famous, like, set of books. I don't even know how many fucking books he's got in that, because that's one series I haven't even read, but I know it's like a long ass series though, so there's so many stories and shit intertwining that you can take out of that for film. So,
well, I don't know much about it, but I saw Idris Elba like with 2 pistols in his hand. So
yeah, it's a weird fucking, like, sort of western mixed with all sorts of other genre shit.
Really?
But it's kind of like a weird western fucking horror fantasy sort of thing.
Well, we'll definitely check that out. We'll have to make sure that we look at that on next episode.
Yeah, man.
I think
we'll have the full trailer roundup
next
brother. Time.
That's next time. But I think for now, it's about lock-off time. We've got to go and search for some supplies and shit.
Right, supply time,
It is, bro. It is. It's supply time. But we can, we'll watch that back and we'll make sure we hit that up next week. I've just dropped a Linnea Quigley interview on slimehousetv.com, so make sure you check that out. I've got Emily Booth dropping this week, and then I've got some sick stuff dropping in the next couple of weeks on
nice. I checked out the Linnea Quigley interview, man. It's sick.
Big ups, man. Big ups Linnea Quigley every time. She's a fucking G.
Yeah.
If you want to check out any of our other episodes, make sure you go to www.slimehousetv.com. You can look at all our other work over on youtube.com/Theo Cane Garvey. And if you've got any questions, which we didn't even have a chance to get into this week because we had so much to talk about, but if you have got any questions, make sure you send those over to facebook.com/SlimeHouseTV. I'm Theo Cane. That's Respek BA. This has been the motherfucking Lowdown Shelter. Peace.